Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. We really are grateful for your presence here.
From us, we just like to thank Givaras for always supporting all our initiatives and for our press con today. And I believe one of the owners is celebrating his birthday today.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Chef Laudico, and
Happy birthday.
again, thank you for hosting us. And welcome, present. Thank you for your presence.
Alright, so before that, we'll do a question and answer portion with our friends from the press. But before we take your questions, pwede ako muna, kasi dami kong tanong. I'd like to ask a few questions to certain members of the panel, and then we'll throw the Q&A portion to you guys. So ako muna. That's the perks of being the host. I'm holding the mic, so ako muna. Okay, so our first question. I know it's going to be slightly difficult because the trailer promises a film that is going to be quite revealing, quite forthcoming. I'd like to ask our first question to Diane. As a filmmaker, as a director, and a key figure in the film's production, how did you manage to balance the complexity of the band's journey, kasi dami pasikot-sikot yung kwento nila, while maintaining objectivity? Kasi meron tayong tendency to go for bias or sensationalism, but it being a documentary film, how did you as a filmmaker maintain that balance?
Kasi all this time, I think the things that we've heard about the band were mostly parang speculations. Nobody really knows what happened during the breakup or why it happened. So I think this is the guys reclaiming their narrative. And I had that sort of, I was lucky enough to have that chance to get to sit down with them, for them to reveal the story, to reveal their story. So for me, I think, as a filmmaker, as a documentary filmmaker, at least for this project, parang I wanted to honor that truth. And I think in honoring that truth and preserving it, that was my way of, being objective. Yeah.
Was there a time or a moment that you found yourself holding back?
Ooh. I mean, I guess parang there were some truths na parang, wow, I didn't know that. Wow, that's kind of difficult. How am I going to approach this, of course? But at the end of the day, what I can say is I really tried my best to really uphold their truth. So I think na, yeah, what the people can expect is that this is a no holds barred, like sort of like depiction of their story, and nothing is swept under the rug.
Oh, nothing is swept under the rug. That's gonna be an amazing watch. Thank you, Diane. Because when this was first announced, of course, we were all excited. I know it's getting released in cinemas nationwide, but why March 21 to 23 lang?
Okay, we've discussed it for quite a period of time, and we thought we want to make it special kasi this doesn't happen every day, and it's Eraserheads, and we thought that the experience, the audience of Eraserheads, they're used to watching them in concerts in arenas, in coliseums, like a back-to-back, 3 days back-to-back shows. So we thought, bringing this documentary, we want to maintain that type of format also. But instead of coliseums and arenas, we want, and the whole nation to watch it, we want them to give the whole weekend of it. So it's like pattern to the release of the usual shows that they hold. Yeah.
So that's a good format to follow. Parang live din, but manonood kami ng cinema.
Yes.
Okay, that's pretty cool. How do you manage the logistics of getting everybody together? Considering everybody's busy with their music-related projects, other things happening. You have the reunion, which gave birth to a tour, and the tour is still ongoing. There's Australia soon. How did you manage the logistics to get everybody together to make this film?
Patience. You really have to be patient because before we can do a one step forward, we have to coordinate with 4 or 3 managers. And so, but we have to do that so that we will all be in one page, you know. So, but since we were fortunate enough that we've been doing this together for many years, this new initiative, this documentary, the making of concerts, meron na kaming template. We have already guys that know what to do, sila Ronald, sila Jad, then everybody else. So, may na sila. Once there's a project that's nabuo, everybody can move on and in an efficient way, no? But lots of coordination and lots of patience.
I love that. Last times, this film's creative direction with the necessities of making a commercially viable film.
Again, you have to coordinate and communicate. Since Diane is doing the lead role for this, parang support lang kami, no? Because she has access to all the members, and one thing lang that we agreed that the pacing has to be nice, nothing boring, and then nothing sanitized. What you will really see is the E-heads with their ups and downs, and of course, we're all human beings, no? So even our weaknesses, our fault shows there, and then our desires to heal and reconcile is there too. So talaga, ang ganda nitong movie na to. I was so impressed, and I wanted to congratulate Diane for doing a great film.
Definitely can't wait to see this. Mr. Rico, you said you had
Yeah, I'd just like to add something. I'd like to thank the cinema exhibition groups and the booking committee for accommodating the special release pattern that we're doing for this one. It has been done with foreign artists before, so this is the first time for E-heads also, so we're doing this in. So thank you for that, to the cinema exhibitors.
And of course, also, I don't know if you know this is also going to be the first Filipino documentary film released in Dolby Atmos. Of course, it's about music, it's got to sound good. All right, so I'd like to ask, Ali, I'd like to ask you a couple of questions, if you don't mind. I've known you for a while. I've been a long time fan, even longer than I've known you. You're always known to be sort of vague and elusive about sharing your personal take or personal details. But in this documentary, it feels that you're now willing to be either more revealing or more forthcoming. What has changed, and why now?
I don't know. Time has passed, and I believe in keeping something for yourself and not spoon feeding your audience. So you can see that in the music. It's not very literal. So I guess the boys and I like mystery and keeping things vague, but there comes a time when that I think works against you. So nagkakaroon ng misconceptions and urban legends, if you know what I mean, and myths regarding the band, which doesn't necessarily is not necessarily good for the band or the music. And so this time we chose a different path and decided I think this is it's high time that, like what Diane said, it's to reclaim our narrative.
That's awesome. So, just another question. Since you mentioned the boys, how was it reconciling and reuniting with Marcus, Buddy, and Raymond? Did you guys sit down, talk things out? Did you have a heart-to-heart, or did you say, bahala na si Batman, let's rock and roll?
This isn't our first reconciliation. So we have gotten pretty good at it, and I see the parang efforts of everyone to move forward in a more optimistic and positive light. It's a far cry from 30 years ago.
Speaking of the boys, they're not here today. Bakit sila absent?
Yeah,
Parang
I didn't notice.
umulan and they stayed home. Puno na ba yung party?
Yeah. We've decided na parang it's four talking heads is a bit much, and parang to stop the confusion, ako na muna ang mag-represent sa banda.
Alright, thank you.
I'm not surprised, and I don't mean that in an arrogant way, because we, from the very beginning, the band parang took pains to create something, first of all, relatable and timeless themes, and that's no accident because we wanted to transcend generations, and that's what the band is all about, because we've been inspired by the previous generation to make music, and this is sort of paying it forward and giving back, and to inspire musicians, and not just musicians, but people who aren't artists to go out there and be themselves and be their own person is such a gift, and it's still why we do this thing.
Well, I'm not one to want to dictate how the audience should react to the film. I think maybe I could just share my personal experience and learnings from having done the documentary. And I think it really is about growth, and in the process of making it, I've learned a lot about myself in watching the guys allow themselves to be so raw and honest and vulnerable. Parang it gave me that courage to also allow myself to access those feelings that I did not allow myself to really face for a long time. And I hope, that they can, parang that they can have a similar takeaway from watching the film.
Thank you.
Hi, afternoon. Kevin from Manila Concert City. Sir Ali, what you learned about touring with the band again?
I've learned to be more professional and work with others, and I'm definitely talking about the band. From the 2022 reunion, I think I've decided I will really try my best to parang get along with them, and try to be more mature and talk things over, and hear both sides of the story before I parang judge anything.
Sir, to Miss Diane po, what are the challenges for the experience po in documenting and filming this documentary po?
Okay, I'm gonna talk about the boring stuff, yung
Sure.
technicalities of it. I think it was very challenging kasi we were shooting the film in both the Philippines during their concert, tapos we were following them around during their US tour. So having to shoot in two different countries, tapos we did the sound design in Berlin and did the Dolby Atmos in LA, as it was the same sound stage where they did Taylor Swift, era and Beyonce, and I think they did the soundtrack of Dune because I really felt na, I mean, the guy's music, it's, you know, it's meant to be heard in its optimum state. So, yeah, I think, and also combing through hundreds of hours of footages, and figuring out, kasi documentary filmmaking, it's a wild animal. Parang there's infinite possibilities of where you could go narrative-wise. So parang, and having such brilliant interviewees and subjects, every time they say something so interesting, I'm tempted to follow each and every story and information that they've shared, which means I needed to provide context for it. So it became too much. So like just figuring out which story is the most important that serves the overall story or narrative that I wanted to be out there. And yeah.
I'd like to share something also. I think there's one common denominator here. No? As the concert producer, I don't really look at the bottom line, how much money I could make. It's just what is the best production show we can show to the audience, right? Likewise, when Diane was doing this film, she has no budget. It was, she just had to do what she has to do, even if it costs her so much. And whether this movie will be a positive ending or not, it's not our issue. Our issue is to provide the best film we can be proud of to the world. That's why we're so proud of this work.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Our brothers deal with the production is for theatrical distribution only for now, but it depends on what Leanne is planning for other platforms now.
Currently, there are no negotiations for any distributions of any platforms as of yet. So for now, it's really exclusively only in cinemas.
Yeah, we really want the audience to experience this
Yeah.
musical documentary, very special musical documentary. And it's for limited run, so we want to take note really of the dates, 21 to 23. Go to the cinemas nationwide, we're going to be showing it on those dates.
Yeah, I think some films are meant to be experienced in the cinema, and I think this is really just one of the films that you should have. Yeah, you should be able to in the cinema.
Your thoughts?
Well, it's all cyclical, back then, everyone thought we've achieved the peak with Caterpillar selling 40,000 on the first day, and even the boys were like, "You're right. I mean, how do you top this?" And it's just accepting the fact that you can't be on top all the time, and when you hit that peak, the best thing to do is just be more creative and more experimental, not necessarily top the numbers. Just enjoy yourself, and that's what we did. Following Caterpillar, we made we concocted a story around an album. It was a concept album. I mean, it wasn't met with much success, but at least we got to enjoy that, And it's the same thing with the first reunion, the second. I don't even know how many reunions we have here, but this is the third reunion, is in 2022, and we just wanted to have fun with it and do something that hadn't been done before by either us or other artists. I didn't want to overshare naman stuff that I think should be kept for myself. But most of the time, it wasn't really hard because, first of all, the situation was parang comfortable. It wasn't like I mean, the interviewer, Diane, and the rest of the auxiliary interviewers were really good at, well, first of all, because we have relationships and we knew who they were. So we were parang more open talaga to, ano, so, and I think also that it was pent up for so long that we were just really happy to finally let it out and release everything.
There was an interview I remember with Ellie where after the interview he asked, "Is that it?" But it felt like he wanted to express more. It was probably therapeutic as well.
Were the most ridiculous or the funniest rumor or urban legend that you've heard about disbandment of the group?
Okay, let's just get it out there. It's Poliarium, right? It's not about TVJs. It's not about Vic Soto and the rape. Although it is a sad thing, I was really heartbroken when that thing came out because I was such a huge fan of. They were my heroes, and I wouldn't dream of writing a song to tarnish my heroes. So I think that's the most ridiculous, and I will maintain until today that it's not about them, it's not about Pepsi, and let the other hacks tackle that.
It's a special announcement that we're going to feature today. This is an exclusive. Before we conclude, there's going to be an exciting surprise for music and movie fans alike. Ladies and gentlemen, the Eraserheads Combo on the Run will be hosting a surprise pop-up performance lottery, offering a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lucky cinema audience. We don't know where, that's why it's called a lottery. We don't know where they're going to play, but within the cinematic release of March 21, 22, or 23, the Eraserheads are actually going to perform for a screening. My God. Okay, so can we watch I think we have a video that will discuss the promotions and the mechanics more on this. Can we play that video, please?
Hey guys, we've got something special for you. We're making your Combo on the Run movie experience even crazier.
What if we told you we might be watching with you? Or better yet, performing for you.
Oh, diba? So we don't know. We don't know. Yes.
Question for Rico. Rico, when they can start buying the ticket?
Okay, we're finalizing that. We're going to be announcing soon, but we're targeting hopefully by the end of this month. We're gonna push for we'll talk to all the cinema exhibitors to be ready. We're just waiting for the final running time and the MTRCB review rating, and then we'll make the announcements by next week.
Alright, so that's going to be exciting. So tickets are going to go on sale hopefully by the end of the month. And not only that, you might be the lucky audience member who gets to watch the Eraserheads play. That's a very intimate setting in a cinema. That's probably the most intimate gig you've had so far. So that's going to be fantastic. And then you're going to get to see, of course, the untold story of the Eraserheads and Eraserheads Combo on the Run. Thank you so much.